Hi, my name is Kate. I'm also known as Two Little Kits. Welcome to my FlossTube and happy holidays! If you're watching this on the day that it's released, yesterday was Christmas Day. I am terrible at remembering other holidays, but I know there are other holidays, so happy holidays! I've got quite a few things to share that's related to Two Little Kits, and I guess not that much that's not related to Two Little Kits, so this could be a pretty short one, but let's get started. First off, I'm going to take this thing off because it's not fitting in the frame properly anyway, and it's bothering me already, and I've been wearing it for like 2 minutes, so sorry little Santa hat. Now I gotta attempt to fix this. Ugh. So even though it is below freezing outside, I'm like so warm, I'll be quite honest, because directly down there is a heater vent, and even though I have closed the vent, my desk gets so warm, and so I'm like, but if I take this off, then I start getting too cold. So I'm one of those people. Anyway, let's dive right into finished pieces. So I only have one finished piece that I can actually show you in person, because the other finished pieces that I completed in the last fortnight have been sent off. So we'll start off with this one. So I shared very early stages of this piece in the last FlossTube, and I mentioned that I had to unpick everything I had done and redo it, which was I think 5 of the 7 foxes. But this was really fast. This was very, very nice to work on. This is the first piece that I've done ever that is purely blackwork. And again, if you don't know what blackwork is, it's basically just backstitch. It's called blackwork because historically it would be done using black only. There is also a thing called red work, and it's done with red floss only. But it's called blackwork, but it just basically means it's all done with back stitches. And so this was a pattern by Flossy Fox Shop. I will link the listing in the description below if you want to get it yourself, but it was just too cute to pass up. And she has a theme, I guess, maybe inadvertently, where she uses all these bright colors in her patterns, which I think is very cool. I like that. Yes, she reuses a limited palette of bright colors, so that's very cool. I made a couple of alterations to the finished piece, which they're so minute you can't really tell, but it does look like that when it's all done. So there's that one, and I even finished it properly on the back. It's got a little bit of fabric on the back, and I picked the red, which in hindsight I probably just should have done white or something, but whatever. I actually finished my own, a piece for me with a back on it, which I don't do very often. I usually back them only for pieces that are commissions or gifts, and I like to keep my backs naked. Like, this is a bad example. No, this is not a bad example. Like this one. It's all, that's my Just Breathe pattern, which you can get for free on my website. I'll link it down as well. So there's that one. There is the piece that I talked about that was considered, I guess, an influencer piece. It's for Elise Myers. I've sent it off. I don't think she's picked it up yet from her post office box, because postage tracking is telling me that it's still available for pickup. I have no idea if in America they will continue to hold the package infinitely, or if it's going to get sent back to me. So if someone can let me know that's from America in the comments, could there be a possibility that I will get this sent back to me? That'd be great. I hope not. If it does, like if that's the case, I may actually reach out to her and say, psst, please check your mailbox. So, because I don't really want to pay for shipping again. But so that piece is done. I'm so happy with how that's come out. I am trying to wait to post about it outside of like this, but actually do like a post about it on social media until she's gotten it, and I'm looking forward to sharing all the details in the piece because I think it's pretty cool. Okay, so this is, I guess, edit, Kate. I realized while I was going through all of my raw imagery or raw videos to demonstrate finished pieces that I actually forgot to talk about one of my finished pieces. It involves a bit of a story, and so just a voiceover was not really going to cut it. So this finished piece I gifted to the martial arts studio that we go to. I shared like my works in progress and designing this piece on stream, not this past Thursday, but the one before that. I went to the studio and gifted it to them just to say Merry Christmas. And I was so nervous about giving this piece to them. I can't explain why. I guess it's just like hoping that they get a good reaction, basically. But I gave it to them, they opened it up and they loved it so much, which was like, whew, thank God. And then I went in the following Monday, so last Monday, for my daughter's martial arts class, and I saw that they had hung it up on the wall, which was like, aw, that's so lovely. So they loved it so much that they put it in like a really prominent place. Yeah, I just thought that was really special. The other finished piece that I have is a portrait piece that was for a gift exchange. I've done this gift exchange for the last 2 years. This is the 3rd year that I've done it with a small group of friends of mine that are also stitchers. This was just an inside joke between us. Thankfully, she took it well and thinks it's hilarious and loves it, but it's just me being cheeky, basically. And it was a lot of fun. I designed the whole thing myself. I even streamed myself designing the whole pattern quite a few months ago, and thankfully she didn't see it. I was so worried that she would see the stream or a thumbnail of it or something like that, but she didn't see any of that, so woo! And that was finished in I believe a 4-inch hoop, and it was sent along with like a bunch of other goodies, but they're not stitchy related. So yeah, that's all the finished pieces that I did this week, which is impressive. It's not often that I have one finished piece, let alone 3 in a fortnight. And you know, recently I had 10 because they were all the ornaments. And anyway, that was last FlossTube anyway. So let's move on to works in progress. I will share this one because it's going to be in the thumbnail. This is a embroidery pattern that I'm working on. I freehanded this months ago. I had the design like vividly in my mind's eye and put it down before I lost it. Some of my pen ink has faded, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So I can't really see my little key that I that I drew down there. So some of the things I'm like, what was I planning? I can't really remember. But anyway, this piece here, I don't know what it's going to be called just yet, but it's going to be my first trial of not having a stitch along, like doing an embroidery pattern that doesn't have a stitch along. So I will be stitching this again and recording the stitching process of it. Right now I'm just stitching it so that I've got it solidified, set in stone, however you want to put it. Yeah, I'm really liking it. I really like the colors that I've picked out, and hopefully you guys like it too. I'm hoping it's going to be like a combination of my Simply Florals and the Just Breathe piece. I'll show you the Simply Florals one. So this is the Simply Florals piece. This is the first embroidery piece that I did. As you can see, it's focused on big flowers. And then again, this is the Just Breathe pattern that I have. This is for free. This was, I think, the 4th pattern that I released. Yeah, fourth sounds right. So I'm thinking it's going to be like visually a mishmash of both of these. So this kind of circular design, but with smaller flowers. Hopefully that makes sense. And hopefully, fingers crossed, you guys like it and I like it, and yeah, that's it. So there's that piece. And if you've got any thoughts on names, my naming convention, if you haven't noticed, is 2 words for the name of a pattern. So it needs to be just 2 words. Let me know in the comments what you think it should be called. The other works in progress that I have are still in their project bags. I haven't worked on that one. Is this one, which is huge and kind of boring to look at right now. And oh my gosh, I haven't worked on it for a few days, so I'm just gonna tighten it in the hoop again because it's all wobbly. Are you ready? Are you ready for this amazing work in progress that you haven't seen before? That's all there is right now. And there was more, but I started stitching it this way by accident, and it's a rectangular pattern. I just assumed, I guess, that because I wrote down the size of the pattern in the corner up here, and I assumed that it was going to be a horizontal rectangle, but no, it's vertical. So as you can see, the little things on this side, because I unpicked it and I rotated it, and so I would be further along, but I'm not. So that's gonna happen. And this piece has no rush on this. I just wanted to get it started, basically, and the starting point was gridding the whole thing, and then it was sort of like I wanted to treat myself because I had gridded it and it took ages to grid. So I got started. So there's that one. And then there's one, a blast from the past, which if you saw my recent stream, you may recognize as Pretty Little LA from Satsuma Street. I'll put a link in the description. I've done quite a bit on this in the last fortnight, but you may not remember how much had been done because I haven't touched this for about 6 months. Yeah, it's been cool, I guess, to pick up a piece after that kind of period of time. I haven't put down a pattern, or I haven't put down a work in progress and picked it up after that kind of length of time in years. Like, I've got other works in progress that I haven't touched in years, but I haven't picked them up yet. I found 2 mistakes from when I was stitching it 6 months ago. One of them I have hidden and the other one I saw on my stream and I still can't believe it. There is a tiny little blue square right about there. Yeah, right about there. And I have stitched the top stitch the wrong way. I've done the whole cross the wrong way around. And I still can't understand how I managed to do that. I said it was amateurish on my stream, and I felt kind of bad after saying that because I know I did. I just felt bad that I may be offending people. But it does feel kind of amateurish to me. I should know better, basically. But yeah, so this is happening again, which is cool. I realized that I was working on the Sydney piece, the Sydney piece this time last year. So I'm wondering if maybe I can get this done around the same time as I finish the Sydney piece, which was early this year. I don't know, that would be kind of amusing. I am just quickly scanning because I feel like I've worked on something else, but I don't know what it could be. It was definitely not that other one I just said that I hadn't worked on, which was the snowflake one that you will have seen last FlossTube. I didn't touch that. That one's in timeout because I'm just frustrated at the fact that I stitched it on linen. So let's say that's all the works in progress I did. As you can probably imagine, I don't have a lot of time this coming year to do stitching for myself. I've been trying, but you know, my kids are home from school, my husband's off work, I'm trying to spend more time with the family. That's why this is probably going to be short. Yeah, I don't really have much else to share. I do have like so many ideas. I always have so many ideas, but I still have so many ideas of things that I want to create and list and sell and see people working on. I need more time in the day. Can someone, I don't know, somehow invent another 2 hours into a day where I am required to not be social and to hunker down and work? That would be awesome. Can someone gift that to me as a belated Christmas present? Please and thank you. So yeah, I mentioned that my kids are home from school, which has been nice. All my oldest wants to do is play Minecraft, and we're trying to redirect her. And my youngest is just excited that Christmas is coming because I'm recording this on Friday. I did want to do this yesterday on Thursday, the 22nd, but yeah, I got suckered into playing games with the kids, which, you know, I can't complain. They want to spend time with me and I want to spend time with them. It was already 4:30 by the time I noticed what the time was, and it's a bit too late to record. My mind's trailing off. I apologize. So anyway, on the topic of having lots of things on my mind that I want to action, I have 2 things that I have planned for next year that I am like super excited about. I'm going to try and dance around what they are exactly without giving it away, but I hope, and I'm really nervous about this because they're 2 things that I've not yet dipped my toes into. One of them is a big setup and then I kind of just leave it, and hopefully you guys all love it. And the other one is very involved, a little bit of setup, but then continuous requirement of me. They're 2 very different things. One of them is similar to a thing that I have going right now, but it's definitely not really happening at the moment. But yeah, I want to wait until January before I share any of it. The one that has a little bit of setup and a lot of work after initial setup is the one that I'll be talking about first. So probably like straight in the new year I'll be talking about it, and the second thing will probably be like after a week or so that I will announce it. So keep an eye on my Instagram and Facebook and probably even Twitter for news on what that is, and obviously my website too. I'll be blogging about it as well, but I know people find it much easier to follow people and companies and whatnot on a social media platform. So yeah, follow me on there. My handle is twolittlekits on every social media platform. I hope you're excited too. I hope you love it. I really do. I'm so nervous. But hopefully, fingers crossed, you don't just say that you love it, but you actually like participate as well. Anyway, that's probably enough vague talking about what is gonna happen. What else is going on? I have a new test stitcher. Her name is Kimberly. She is test stitching 2 of my old patterns that I never got around to creating a test stitch of. So that'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to being able to have those as real stitches on my website once she's done. I've told her there's no rush because the patterns are already available on my website. So that'll be good, and that means I have 3 test stitches now, which is like, that's crazy to me that people want to be test stitches in a way. I'm very humbled by that. I don't really know how to feel. So anyway, once I've got work from her to share, I'll be obviously linking to her social media in the listing and any posts that I make. So hi Kimberly, and thank you so much in advance. I have my 2 other test stitches still, and I have put them to work. Bridget is going to be test stitching another pattern of mine that I released and didn't do a test stitch of, and she's excited to do that one for her grandkids, which is exciting. And I will likely end up doing, it's the bluey piece that I have, which is, the pattern is called Young Again. I will likely I will stitch that up myself most likely, because I love that show. I think it's so good. I probably love it more than my kids do, and it's a kids TV show. I'm not ashamed to say it. I think it's amazing. And Jessica, my 3rd test stitcher, is working through a new upcoming series that I've been working on. You will have seen me streaming the patterns a couple of times. She test stitched the first one and completed it, and it was all the wrong size on my end, not her problem. She did exactly what she was asked to do. So That sucks because I was hoping to have it ready to go for the start of January, but I need to redo the whole pattern and then get her to, she's willing to test stitch it again, so thank you, Jessica. She's got the second one, which is now going to be the first one that she's test stitching. So I've got so much going on. It's exciting and very nerve-wracking. I don't feel like I deserve this kind of stuff. Thank you to everyone. Thank you. Mwah. I wrote a couple of blog posts. One of them is finally the wrap up. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's almost the end of December. I'm going to have to do a December wrap up really soon. But I finally got around to a wrap up post that is October and November, because I knew going into November that I was not going to do an individual wrap up post for October because of all of the ornaments. I wanted to focus on them and not focus on compiling a blog post. So this one was huge and yeah, involved 2 months worth of work, finished patterns and finished pieces and real life news, like touching on real life news. I'm not going to go into what I did day to day, for example. So you can check that out. It's, like I said, it's on my website. The other blog post, I am still catching up because I keep forgetting, to be quite honest. I am catching up on the wrap-up posts of all the finished pieces that I've done. So I did, now that I've actually got to say it, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, but the Barbarousas family stitch that I did back in May. So that's how far behind I am. So I did a wrap-up post of that piece where you can see better details and just like behind the scenes chat about like making that piece. I'm glad that I finally remembered to get another one of those posts done. I've got a lot of blog posts that I want to do for the sort of the end of the year wrap up, start of the new year intro kind of thing. I have one that will have already released by the time this is released because it's scheduled to drop tomorrow for Christmas Eve, which is all of my ornaments. That's just like a little clip video. I think it's like 3 minutes long maybe. So that's cool. And then there'll be another video like that which will have all of the finished pieces that I've done. I've done it the last 2 years where it's like a demo reel basically of 2022. I've got to make that video still. I thought there was another one that I needed to do, but now that I'm thinking of it, I don't know what it could be. Yeah, I have a bunch of videos that I want to create for YouTube so that I can then use them in blog posts, like a blog post that I want to do of all of the ornaments. So that ornament video that you will have seen on my channel already, that's going to be in a blog post that'll be coming up, that'll have closer up details of bits of the ornaments that I like and like work in progress shots of all of the ornaments, if I can find good ones that are interesting to look at basically. So that felt like a bit of a ramble. I apologize if it was, but I have a lot of content being created, a lot of content planned. So I highly suggest you just keep an eye out on my website, or I've been trying to keep up with posting about posts that I've done, especially on Facebook and Twitter, but trying to do it on Instagram too. Instagram's it doesn't feel as friendly to post about a blog post on there because it's an image and video heavy website. It doesn't really lend well to sharing a link to a blog post. So I'm still trying to like figure out how I want to do that. I've been trying to figure it out for a couple of years now, basically. So real life stuff, obviously Christmas will have happened by the time you're watching this. My kids are super excited for Christmas Day, especially my youngest. Every day she keeps saying, I wish it was Christmas today, which is super cute. I let them both pick out a toy. To backtrack, I took them to a mall on Monday, I think it was the 18th or 19th, this past Monday. So not today, this past Monday. In hindsight, that was terrible timing, but I wanted to get them a haircut. I wanted to just get it done. And then when I booked it and it was like coming up for the day, I was like, well, we're going to be in a mall. We can go present shopping for dad, like their dad, to, you know, get them to pick something to gift to him. So we were there for about 3 hours. My kids did so well considering, because I keep having to remind myself that they're pandemic kids. They barely remember going to places like malls pre-pandemic. Since the pandemic, like I try and avoid taking them to places like that just out of habit now. And part of it is also because it's just easier to rush around to try and get things done or buy things that I need to buy at a place like that without two kids going, oh, what's that? Can we go in there? I need to go to the toilet. Like all that normal kid stuff. Like I said, they did really good. There was one shop where both of them wanted to buy something for each other, actually. That's a whole other thing which I won't go into. They wanted to buy something for each other in this one store, and the line in the store was so long, and both of them were so patient and so good, and I was just very proud with how well they did it, especially my oldest. As you may or may not know, she is special needs. She's autistic, intellectually disabled, and has ADHD. So waiting in lines where there are lots of people and tons of visual stimuli, she did so good. So yeah, we got presents for dad, and they got presents for each other, and I let them pick out one thing for themselves that they wanted, something little for themselves. And my plan was to let them open it on Christmas Eve, but I caved and I let them have it the next day. So the point of that is my youngest has also remembered that last year we let them both open a small gift on Christmas Eve, and she talked to me about it last night, and she's like, oh, I remember that we did that, and do you think we could do that again? And I said, well, you've already opened a present, haven't you? She's like, what? So I pointed to the toy. It was like right next to me in her bedroom. She's like, oh, I forgot. So no, child, you will not be getting a present on Christmas Eve. You've already gotten one. What else has happened? Oh, I tried to drive my car today to go to the pharmacy because one of my husband's medications is running out. His last day is Christmas Day that he has it. And we have had a ice storm, basically. And I, in hindsight, should have put my tire chains on, but I don't know why I didn't. So I drove my car out of the garage, started to go down the driveway, and my car just went skating down into the sidewalk thingy, the strip of grass at the sidewalk. Thankfully, it didn't go into the rocks that are next to our driveway, because that could have popped my tire. And thankfully, I got it to stop just at the bottom of our driveway. So it is blocking the sidewalk. I would call it a footpath, but we're in America. But I really don't think it's safe for anyone to even walk on the footpath right now, because there's ice everywhere. It's like a skating rink out there, literally a skating rink out there. Once I got my car to stop, I was like, okay, well, I'm not going anywhere, and my car is now not going anywhere. Thankfully, it's not on the road. So that's a thing. And then I realized, oh, my next trick now is to figure out how to get back inside the house. So I had to like stomp and crush all of the ice that was on top of all of the snow, which is on top of all of our garden, so that I could make foot indents so that I could then walk up to the front of the house. So it's been really cold here. I don't know it, I can't remember what it has been in Fahrenheit, but the lowest temperature we've had has been -12 Celsius with wind chill of -23 Celsius. We were expecting about minimum 8 inches of snow last night, and it actually didn't snow at all, pretty much, which was nice, surprising. But it's only stopped a couple of hours ago. We've had crazy wind, like really strong winds since, it would have been about 36 hours of just strong winds that only ended this morning. before I tried to drive my car, which was such a stupid idea, I actually went out of curiosity just of how cold it was. I went and opened the front door, and I'm glad I had my phone. I took a video of just the noise that the wind, which had died down, was creating. It was knocking off all of the thick ice off all of the leaves of our bushes and trees. And so the ice was just like clanging to the ground because it was falling onto ice that was on the ground. And then the trees were blowing in the breeze, and the trees were creaking because they were covered in ice. It was really weird. So that's like update on an Australian living in the Pacific Northwest during a winter storm. Which some of you might be like, why was she doing that? Why is that interesting? But maybe it's a reminder to you guys that this is weird for me. This is so weird. Snow is so weird. I look over there where I should be able to look out my window because I've got two windows. One of them slides and opens up. The sliding one has the frost thing that I talked about a few months ago that I put on my window for privacy and to block out the sun during summer. And the other one I didn't put it on, but it's like I have it on my window because it is covered in ice because of how strong the winds were and that it was raining / icing in the wind. But yeah, so it's very strange. And I tried to open my window actually because I wanted to know if it was raining at one point while I was sitting here early today, and my window stuck closed. So that's also strange. Anyway, I don't think there's been really anything else that's been happening that isn't just like hanging out with my family. That's kind of it. And this was a lot longer than I expected, which means I've got a lot to edit. So I'm gonna leave it there before I think of anything else to talk about. Thank you so much for watching. Check out all of the links in the description of all of the things that I have said that I will put in the description, like the patterns, my own patterns, and the Flossy Fox Shop Blackwork Foxes pattern that I did. Let me know in the comments your answers to my questions, and let me know how silly I sound talking about trying to drive when my driveway is covered in ice, and just like whether you face palmed at that or not. This is the last FlossTube for 2022. Thank you all so much for watching this year. If you've only just found me recently, thank you so much for finding me. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys, everything. I really appreciate it. I started off this year with crazy growth to my Instagram account, which abruptly came to a halt in early March, I think either early or mid-March, which really put me in a funk. And I talked about that months ago. But it was like I had hit the jackpot in a way. I was getting, I think 1 week, like a whole 7 days, according to the app that I use to schedule posts, I got 500 new followers in 1 week back in February. And then that has petered down to, sometimes I get negative followers in a week. Like I'll have -7 new followers in a week, which has been really tough. So like it's hard to explain why that's tough. It's hard to say it in a way that isn't like, oh, woe is me, first world problems. So apologies for that. But if you haven't had that kind of thing happen, you probably don't understand what it's like to feel like you're doing really well, doing the right things socially. You know, when I say socially, I mean social media wise, and then be at mercy to the algorithm pretty much. But I feel like in the last 2 months, I've picked up again when it comes to the numbers, the algorithm numbers. I found a groove that works for my current followers, and I've been reminding myself that it is more important to perform, it's not the right word, but to create content for the people that are already here and not worry about finding new people. So with all that said, again, thank you for being here, for watching me. I really appreciate any comments, any likes, any shares, any watches that you do of my stuff. And I really hope that you have a awesome holiday period, whether you celebrate any holiday or not. And I look forward to seeing you all in 2023. So with that, I'll see you on the internet. Bye.